I don't know if you can just copy NumPy arrays like this. Okay, I guess you can. I'll just do the same thing with the normal matrix. Okay, I have zero faith that that's correct. So for one thing, copy is calling itself, and that's not what I want. This is like copying the tree. This is like, I don't know, copy, recursive copy or something. Maybe this should be something like single copy. Or copy recurse equals false or something like that. I'll call it single copy for now. Oh, but not for these, just for this. And then, so I have to write this, won't I? And I think this is actually what should copy the model matrix and the normal matrix. That'll be self model matrix, self normal matrix. Okay. So that copies all of the attributes that are not recursive, which the children are. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be more efficient than using recursion. Okay, anyway. Now I have to implement single copy for this. Yeah, the regular copy, if I call copy on a mesh, it'll just default to this, which is what I want, I think. Oh, no, it's not, actually. This should be empty. This should have just self. Then when I pop out self, I'll do single copy on self. Then I'll do self, and I'll have the single copy here. But if it's a mesh, then it'll call this single copy. This has a few more... I guess this doesn't have a ton of things to set. I just have to create a mesh. Okay, so copy equals mesh. Self attributes dot copy. Can't copy shaders, but that's okay. Index or indices. Self.indices dot copy. Then I just have to set copy.use depth test. Primitive. Skip render. Yeah, I guess I'll copy that. Wait, can you just pass these? Oh, you can just pass these to the constructor. index. Then I can just pass depth test and primitives. Use depth test and primitive. Depth test. Okay, so then it'll initialize this. It'll initialize this. I think skip render should... I'll just set skip render on my own. And I won't bother copying the updaters right now. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not even sure if you would want to do that. Okay. But with this gives me a way to copy things, hopefully. And I know this is going to be really buggy. So what I'm going to do right now is not call this. Let me just run this firstly. Okay. Cool. Hold on. Why did I choose this angle for viewing this? Never mind. I'll get into that later. For now, I want to see if I can copy this. So I'm going to try to copy mesh 1, which is a box. I'll just say, or mesh. Let's see if this even works. Okay, so I'll try that. And that crashed. Init got an unexpected keyword index. Okay, shader 172. Guess this is still indices. Key error. So there's something I'm trying to find in this dictionary that isn't there. Node to copy at node.parent. Node.parent. .add node.copy. Yeah, node copy. Darn. So that means something about... I'll just look at it over here. Oh, you know what it might be? I should probably return the copy. That might help. And here. That might make a difference. Okay, it still didn't help. Oh, because it's none. So this is no.parent as if parent is not none. Because this doesn't have parents. Okay, let's try that again. Still the same thing. It does actually say what it's missing is an object 3D. And you know what? This actually makes sense. Because the object that I'm copying does have a parent. Manim space. But I'm not copying Manim space. So I do have to add this if node.parent is none, but the original... the copy of the original needs to have its parent be none. So how do I do that? The copy of the original, not the original itself. So when I do single copy, it should be like if node is self. I think this compares the memory address. This is what I would do. Node copy.parent is none. But was the parent ever cloned anyway? I actually don't know why that happened. If the parent variable was never being set to none, then when I copied this, when I created this copy, that had no parent. Oh, but the original had a parent. So I do have to do this. I have to set the node copy.parent equals none. But this check isn't if the node parent is none. It's if the node copy parent is none. That means the node copy needs a parent. Right? No, this has to be the node parent. If node parent is none, I think you need and node is not self. Then I would do this. So that means the node has a parent. The node is not self, because if it was self, then I wouldn't want to add the parent to the copy. So maybe this is right. Well, I got a different error, so I guess that's good. None type has no attribute get family. What? So here, self.add mesh underscore copy. Oh, that means I'm not returning. Return node to copy itself. Okay. Great. Okay, now here's a question. Is that what I want? The square was copied. It is being placed at the origin. But because its parents, none of its parents were copied, it's scaled up. None of the transformations in the parent matrices are applied to the clone. I think that's still what I want. I do mesh copy. Model matrix equals, let me just translate this. Equals 2 or something. Oh, it didn't like that. Oh. Just move that over. I think this is what I want. If I copy this separately from its parents, and its parents are the only reason it's being transformed, I think that is what I want. Okay. So that worked. The next thing to try is to clone a coordinate space. So not the mesh.copy. Let me try to copy the Manim space. Yeah. And there's only a circle here. Well, it's not only a circle. It looks like there's some other stuff inside of it. So I guess it's all three of these put together. So I add... So I have the mesh copy here. What if I did mesh copy dot children 0? Basically translate one of the children. So move that x equals 2 dot children at 0 0. Okay, let's try that. Great. So there is that icosahedron within there, and I bet the square is in there too. Wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that for this child. Okay, so the icosahedron and the circle and the square are all there. So I can make this x equals 1, this x equals 2. It's just to see all of the children. I still can't see them all. How about 2, 4, and 6? Yeah, okay, so they're all there. But they're not transformed. And does that make sense? I'm copying Manim space this, and I did update the model matrix for this Manim space. So why are they still transformed? And I updated the model matrices for each of these meshes. So somewhere a model matrix isn't being copied. It's being copied for object 3D, model matrix and normal matrix. Here the model matrix and normal matrix is not being copied. Can I reuse these? Now this is explicitly creating an object 3D, so I can't use like super dot single copy. I think all I can do, say copy dot, is basically do this. That could get tricky because not all meshes have a normal matrix. But I'm just going to leave that there until something crashes. So that's... is that better? No, I don't think it is. It looks like that those model matrices still aren't being copied totally right. Although, let me see what happens if I don't translate these. Oh, that does look right. Yeah, that does look right. And then I translated them to the right by 2. Okay. Cool, cool. So if I didn't translate to the X direction by 2, then I have them here, and here they're not transformed. So that's great. That is great. So now I don't want to just copy the Manim space. Let me copy the Manim coordinate space, or try to, and add that in. And that had a problem. Or did it? Oh, it's right on top of it, I guess. So if I move the Manim coordinate space over... Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so now what I can do is not multiply either space by the projection matrix. Wait, what's this doing? Project, yeah, not do this. Or not do this. I should leave this here. This is the Manim coordinate space. This is a copy of the Manim coordinate space. And now the projection matrix. I'll apply the projection matrix to the original space, then add the original, and then add the copy. And not do this. And something went wrong. Mesh copy is not defined. Yeah, don't do that. I'm eventually going to have to write away so that this can recover from if you make an error. Great. This is good. It'd be helpful if I knew where the axes were. But right now, I'm just gonna move one of these one direction and the other one the other direction. So here's a translation. It's a Manim coordinate space. This one's model matrix. Translate that by -2. Great. And the copy. Translate by +2. Okay, so now I can see side by side what happens to it. Is that what I want to see though? I guess it is. I guess it has to be. What I'll eventually... I think what I'm gonna want to do is transform, is show a morph between this space and this space. I want to like see that animation happening. Yeah. What would that take? Basically an animation that runs on meshes. How hard would that be? Probably not super hard, right? An animation on meshes. It might be hard just because our animations are kind of janky. But I do think whatever I end up writing will pretty much end up looking like the animations that we already have. I think I'm going to commit this first. Pseudomaze, what is going on? Implement object 3D cloning. 3D. I'll just say dot copy. Cool, cool, cool. Now, I'm not totally sure if animating these is even doable, unfortunately. I go to animation.py. Doesn't this like type check that it's a mobject? Yeah. Here. That does begin. Where it creates a starting mobject. Finish, clean up from scene, and update mobjects. Get all family zipped. Get all mobjects. It would be nice to reuse all of this code. But I'm not totally sure if I even know how. Maybe if I go to the or the, whatever it's called, transform. I keep forgetting how to search through my symbols. There. I think all you need to do is override... Oh no, this does something totally weird. Align data and family. Although I guess aligning wouldn't be that much. If they're copies of each other. It can just assume that they're perfect copies of each other. I think what I'm really doing is basically a move to target. Which inherits from transform. Maybe I can do that. This is going to be an enormous headache. I know it. I just know it. But let me see. This is the Manim coordinate space, and this is its copy. I think, and then I do this transformation. Let me not add the copy. Just now only the coordinate space is there. And do Manim coordinate space dot target equals that copy. And what I'd like to do is be able to do self.play is to do this. But this is going to crash all over the place. So, wish me luck. First things first, animation only works on objects. We're going to change that right quick. From render.shaders. Render.shader. Sure. Where's that? 66. Okay. I should probably just run this from here. Animation only works on objects still. Oh, this should be object 3D. Let's try it again. Has no attribute get family. And where did this come out? Scene 423? It's doing add objects from animations. And caching.py.